The other thing that didn't happen is there was no consultation with the elders in Afghanistan. And if we're really going to help them, I think we should ask them to join us in meeting and deciding how we can really help them rebuild their country. One thing that to me has been very inspiring, over the last, in May, General Stanley McChrystal, who's the commander of the U.S. force in Afghanistan, he asked me to set up some meetings between the tribal elders and his strategic team and General McChrystal. We've helped to facilitate 36 meetings between the elders and the U.S. military. There are many wise lessons that are coming out of those meetings. One of the things that the elders say is, please involve us in the decision-making process. We can help our country. We can help you. We want you, but you can help us. Something else that's important to know about, which most people in the public don't know about, is that 8,000 of the 22,000 troops deployed to Afghanistan this year, they're mostly trainer troops. They're National Guards. They are from the reserve. These are engineers, they're doctors, they're nurses, they're accountants, they're all kinds of different professions. And their job is to be more involved in training. And of the 30,000 troops going to Afghanistan, about 10,000 are trainer troops. And that's what the Shura and the elders are really asking for. They say, we don't need firepower, but we do need brain power. And, you know, I think in many ways, it's rather ironic, but the military, I think, is way ahead of our State Department and our political leaders. Our top 3 military commanders have been in Afghanistan and Pakistan 36 times in the last 15 months to meet with the elders and meet with the people. Unfortunately, you know, Vice President Joe Biden, Secretary Holbrooke, or Clinton and Holbrooke, they've only been over once, and they had just very brief few hours meeting with the President and the U.S. military. And until we really start building relationships, putting the elders in charge, we've got to make a very serious commitment to the tea drinking, you know, that Haji Ali talked about. And I don't think without building relationships, nothing else can happen. And any decision made on Capitol Hill without involving the people, you know, won't really make a difference. But I have seen some initiative towards that, and I don't want to give you all bad news. And another thing is, you know, there's a lot of good things happening in Afghanistan and Pakistan. The Afghan army is now at 80,000. The goal is 180,000. There's a central banking system put into place in 2006. If you go into the district courts, you'll see that the number of women filing titles and deeds for land ownership is skyrocketing. You know, the U.S., I think we've been far too busy trying to plug in democracy into the world. You cannot plug in democracy. You have to build democracy. And the way you build a democracy is through education and land ownership. Those are the 2 key things, ingredients, even if a country wants to become a democratic republic. The other thing that I talked about a little earlier is we have to stop living in fear. We have to live in hope. And we cannot exude trepidation and fear and those kind of things to our kids. Our greatest hope for peace is our kids. And when you look into the eyes of these children here, in the eyes of children anywhere in the world, it's our greatest responsibility that we leave them all a legacy of peace, and I think it begins with education. So thank you very much, and God bless you. Thanks. Susan.
And what's really exciting is when our children get involved. And who thinks that these little guys can do a lot? Let me tell you what they can do. These children, please stand, guys. We're so proud of you. These children represent the entire elementary school, Arroyo Vista Elementary School in Orange County. And under their volunteer parent, Meg Chasen, and their principal, Tim Brooks, they decided to do a Pennies for Peace collection, which is the children's component of the Central Asia Institute. They made this big campaign, collected pennies, and let me tell you, the pennies that they collected amounted to about $2,500. And your schools, your children can participate as well. Just visit the Central Asia Institute, Greg Mortenson, Pennies for Peace. Any of those links can get you to the site. We also have information in the Journey of Hope magazines that have been circulated on how you guys can do that as well.